Welcome to the Engineering Dreams Space Show, hosted by Paul Spain. I am Jess, the CEO of Engineering Dreams. Today I'd like to introduce a space entrepreneur and pioneer. As a co-founder of Rocket Lab, he has helped put New Zealand on the world map for the space industry. This in itself has created an ecosystem for space entrepreneurs, businesses and startups all wanting to be part of this exciting new industry. With a passion for innovation and continuing to be a leader in space and technology, in 2018 he founded Kea Aerospace. Please welcome Mark Rocket.
I would love to hear a bit more about some of the detail of what you've been working on at Kea, because it does sound pretty exciting. What more can you tell us around what you've achieved to date, and what you see as the potential sort of business model, and who you would anticipate being able to. Is it services that you're going to sell as sort of what does that piece look like as well?
Yeah, well, at the moment we're working on smaller prototype vehicles, so we're testing autonomous systems, communications, and design tools. And February next year, we're looking at doing a world record attempt for a small vehicle under 25 kgs. Hopefully, we can be on track for that. And we've only got a short window of opportunity around having enough sun hours, and then on top of that, we need 4 or 5 days where we don't have too much wind to have a crack at that. So that's sort of testing a bunch of the stuff that we're working on. Then we'll complete the design of the vehicle, then build a quarter scale version of the Kea Atmos and sort of do some tests with that next year. Meanwhile, we'll be building the full scale vehicle. There's a bunch of other kind of milestones along the way as we move into that maiden flight in February 23. So yeah, we've got a lot of exciting sort of technical development side of stuff there. But ultimately, we're going to become a data company. This aircraft will essentially capture aerial data way more cost effectively and more frequently than what you get at the moment. So currently, you've got satellites that are orbiting the Earth, 300 plus kilometers, and but they're often too far away to actually get high resolution images cost effectively. So most of the high resolution stuff that you see, like on Google Maps, tend to come from aircraft. And for example, in Canterbury, ECAN locally here, that they put a big chunk of money into getting this aerial imagery, but it takes about 3 or 4 years for all of Canterbury to be updated. So we're getting very infrequent updates on what's happening with our waterways, our land use, and etc. So yeah, we'll be looking at really increasing the frequency of what type of imagery people are getting at that high resolution. So in the stratosphere, we can sort of combine getting high resolution with that frequent updates, and all at zero emissions. There's no fuel that's being burned. We basically will be flying this Kea Atmos aircraft for months at a time, so it'll be continually mapping for precision agriculture, environmental monitoring, and there's a whole range of different applications. Basically, we'll be collecting a whole lot of data. Would like to have a fleet of these vehicles operating in New Zealand, and then move into Australia, then move into the Asia Pacific area. So yeah, basically we'll be collecting a lot of data for a lot of really useful applications, and I'm really keen to contribute something positive towards climate change problems. I think this is the perfect platform to do that with, but at the same time there's also a bunch of commercial opportunities as well, whether it's wineries that they want to maximize their vines, or forests needing to make what parts of the forest need to be growing better, which parts of the forest are thinned out, through to farms that are looking to maximize what they're doing on their land and waterways.
Well, it sounds like that there's really a whole lot of opportunities, and it's always the way with new innovations and new technology that you kind of often open up a sort of can of worms in a good way, sort of a whole lot of opportunities and things that you might not have folks might not have recognised could be an opportunity, and we see that in a lot of areas. But in your case, it I guess is interesting in that this is an area where, are there any other players that are sort of doing something similar at the moment, or do you think you'll be in a very strong position as you move forward without a lot of competition, sort of sitting above, I guess, traditional planes that are very, very expensive to put up and to collect photos and telemetry and so on. And of course, satellites. I haven't come across a whole lot that seems to be, in direct competition.
Yeah, well, there are a few stratospheric projects, mainly based in the Northern Hemisphere. There's the Airbus project that have been doing some flights out of Australia. But a lot of those are sort of focused on the telecommunications or military applications. We may get into telecommunications as well down the track, but we're focused on aerial imagery with a commercial focus. So and even then, I think there's scope for a lot of innovation in the stratospheric area. So we'll see what happens, but we certainly want to be there early on and be innovating in those areas. But there's always going to be satellites. They're going to be capturing vast amount of data from those orbital altitudes, and that's great. And you're still going to have aircraft doing certain amounts, but I think we're going to be in a certain sweet spot for what we're doing, and we'll be supplementing the data that will be able to be acquired. And we're feeling pretty good about where we could fit into the ecosystem.